Hey, let me call you back in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're good. Take your time.
Okay, bye. Story time with me. I know I haven't done a vlog in a while. With the global pandemic, stuff has been weird. It's been a weird year for everybody. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. But you know what? At this point, I feel like I've settled into this new world, whatever this is. And even though global pandemic has kind of sucked, there's been a lot of nice lifestyle changes that I've made. The highlight of this year came for me a couple weeks ago when I went to Sequoia with Natalie, and I proposed to her. We've been dating for 10 years, and it was the only opportunity I had to go out this year. So I thought that, then was as good a time as any. So Nat and I booked an Airbnb. We figured that's what we wanted to do. Nat was really looking forward to this trip, as was I. Natalie had not been on a trip or vacation since the pandemic started. And we really both needed at least a day outside of the house just to kind of reset. Beautiful. We drove all the way straight there. On our way there, we both had to pee, and there was literally nothing because of COVID. All of the bathrooms, even in the gas stations, were out of order.
I have an idea. Look over there. I'll dump the cup.
We're off to a roaring start.
In any case, we finally got there, and it was beautiful. And because we were both pretty tired, we were like delirious. The sun was coming down on Sequoia, and we could see like just orange light casting like through the trees. It was just absurdly picturesque. Now, I had brought the ring in a box that I made. I did a little woodworking, and I made this box with like magnets in it. So my ring was in the box. Now, once we finally got there, we found a rest stop that we were able to go pee in. So Natalie went first, and I decided to check the box. So I had been shaking like my pocket, my cargo pants pocket, just to make sure the ring was in there and get a little rattle. And I shook it, and there was no rattle. And I was like, holy shit. While she's in the bathroom, I'm immediately checking for the ring. I open up the box. The ring is not there. Turns out the ring was actually in my pocket, thank God. It hadn't fallen out of my pocket. It was still in my pocket, so immediately put it back in. I'm like, I gotta propose soon because this ring is gonna get lost. So our first stop, and the only stop for the day, was Morro Rock. I think it's like 6,700 feet in the air, and I'm afraid of heights. So on top of going to propose, my anxiety was already spiking. We started climbing up, and there were a bunch of other people there. And as we were getting higher and higher and higher, I was getting more and more nervous. It was literally just a guardrail, and you could just see over the mountains, and it was just, you literally could have just jumped. It was crazy. Anyway, we finally get to the top, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. And I was nervous because there was a lot of people there, and Natalie and I are both pretty private with our relationship. So, instead of me just getting down on a knee and shouting to everybody, I kind of just like said it to her. I just kind of whispered it to her. She was pretty surprised, surprised enough for 10 years. I mean, she figured it was coming at some point, so it was a pretty special moment, and I'm just glad I was able to do it outside of the house because we'd spent so many months indoors that I wanted it to be somewhere special for 10 years. So this is where the funny stuff starts. So we haven't been to our Airbnb yet. We've been contacting back and forth, but I realized I don't have the person's phone number, which is trouble because there was literally no service anywhere in Sequoia. I'm on T-Mobile. I don't know if that was a problem. So we're driving back, and I realized I can't contact her, and we are late for check-in. I'm just literally just hitting the reset button on my phone constantly so I can just send her a message saying, we're on our way, but we're late. So finally we get our connection. We're like an hour out. I said, I'm so sorry, we're on our way. I don't get a response. I'm like, crap, she's probably asleep. So we finally get there. And to get there, we're driving up like this dark, like farmlands road, and I'm like, we're gonna die. The car is bumping. I'm in a Honda Civic, and like this thing cannot handle this. So it's just bumping all the way up and down this dirt road. We finally get there, and we see like 10 cars, and they're all in different places. And I'm like, do multiple people live here? Or is this just one person's house? I couldn't figure it out. So we're reading the instructions, and it says, your room is on the second floor with a keypad. So we're walking, and we're trying to find this keypad. We can't find it. We're circling around the house, and this is at like 10 p.m. at night. We're literally shining our flashlight around this house. Everywhere that we're going, by the way, we're walking by windows and seeing people sleeping. So I'm like, this is so weird. So we're like, well, second floor, maybe it's, maybe we have to actually walk up. So we found a little back door with like a staircase. So we start walking up the staircase, and it's ringing bells and stuff that are on the door. And somebody opens the door, slides open the door, and says, can I help you? It's like an older man, clearly who'd been sleeping. And this dog starts barking. We're like, I'm so sorry. We're looking for our Airbnb. We can't find it. And he says, oh, you gotta go around back. She'll help you out. So we finally go in, and our Airbnb hostess lets us in. Very nice place. She gave us our own key for our room. And we were really tired, so we just decided, let's just shower and then sleep. Now, we finally go to lie in the bed. So the bed smells like mildew. Like, when you go to do your laundry and you leave the bed sheets in there in the wash for a little too long. That's what it smelled like. So we were like, okay, all right. Now, not just that, but the bed, I don't think there was a spring underneath. So it was like caving slightly like that. That doesn't bother me too much, but Natalie is a little bit picky about how she sleeps, and she just could not sleep. It was like every minute she was turning, and I'm an incredibly light sleeper. Like, my mom used to open the door for me to go to school, and that would wake me up, just the doorknob turning. So every time I'm going to fall asleep, she rolls over, which wakes me up again. And this went on for hours, and it was like hell. What, I like proposed to you, and then is this like the test that you see if I can handle you? It was truly one of the worst night's sleep I've ever had in my life. It was awful. I must have got like an hour, 2 hours. So we finally get through that endless night.
How'd you sleep, Nat?
Then we're like, all right, let's go to Sequoia. We're already really tired. We didn't have any food because COVID, everything was closed. So we found a Subway that was in Sequoia, not in the forest, but on the way. Keep in mind, by the way, this was the hottest weekend of the year to date in California. It was like 118 degrees out. It was something absurd. It was over 110. So we're starving and we're hot. So we go into the Subway and we have to wait like an hour, literally an hour, just because there was an intern who was working there. Now I'm patient, so I was fine with waiting. That was okay. We finally get to the front of the line. As we start ordering the sandwiches, Natalie goes, can I get some turkey? And he's like, oh. So he sees the turkey and he goes, turkey? And he's looking to his like boss to confirm that that's the turkey. And she's like, yes. And then Natalie's like, can I get some oil and vinegar on that? And he's like, okay. So he's looking at the bottles, trying to figure out, and he goes like, oil? And she's like, yeah. All this was okay. I was kind of like, all right. I mean, I think I know what turkey looks like. But the one that got me was Natalie goes, hey, can I have some tomato on that? And he looks, he can't figure, he goes, tomato? So I'm like, okay, this is getting a little weird now. And I couldn't tell if I was just sleep deprived or what. After all that, now this is COVID, right? This is COVID. He's finally got the sandwich, he's preparing the sandwich. He wipes his nose and then immediately starts finishing up the sandwich. Oh, poor Natalie. I'm just like, oh no. Natalie ate a little of the sandwich, but she started feeling off about it. And she's like, I'm just not gonna eat it. And it's like, okay. So I ate it. Anyway, we finally got to Sequoia to do the big trees hike. And it was beautiful. And, all of the funny little moments in the trip culminated into this really beautiful experience. Of course, Morro Rock was also beautiful, but we had the opportunity to do this hike, which was gorgeous.
Weird. It looks like mammoth's fur.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. It's like papery.
There's one thing I'd remember probably most about being in Sequoia. It was the smell. Like the smell of wood was everywhere, and it was just such an earthy, so amazing. I already love all things wood related, and this was just incredible. It was so beautiful. We actually got to see a small baby bear at the end of the hike, which was really cool. I've actually never seen a bear in person before, and it was a really great time. We were supposed to stay an extra night for the Airbnb, but after the first night, we just decided, you know what, let's just go home. So we just drove straight home. But we had a great trip, and all the little hiccups in the trip just make for funny stories like this at the end. Anyway, that's it for my little story time. Let me know if you guys want to hear more funny stories like this. Stuff happens to me every day, so I'm happy to share that with you guys if you like. Hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe for more crazy content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.